Okay, so I just came about this, and hello by the way, but I'm recording this after another one because it's raining like a mofo outside. So someone in my Discord posted that people bitching and moaning about Microsoft recall on the Linux side, and rightfully so, by the way. But Linux has their own version now. And it's better than Microsoft because it's open source and Linux people are doing it. And then I saw this video here. I haven't seen it. I don't know who this guy is. He could be a great guy and stuff. Nothing against him. Just the title alone. It's okay. It's not okay for they to do it, but it's okay for us to do it. I don't care if it's open source or whoever is handling. I don't want any operating system to take screenshots every fucking 5 seconds of my desktop. No. And you can justify it with it's open source or non-source or, you know, banana sauce or alien sauce or cheese sauce or whatever you want to justify it as. I don't care. And that's how most people think. They don't care about that. But I just find it funny that every time someone is criticizing about a feature that another operating system is coming out with, the Linux is copying it. And it basically just draw in the point that I've made for many years, is that Linux is not innovating anymore. Linux used to be the operating system of the future. Microsoft and Apple used to look at Linux when it was really small and insignificant in the 90s and 2000s and copy it. Like, Linux was the first one with like multiple desktops, bringing cube, fancy animations and all that fucking shit. And Mac and Windows copied the living shit out of it. Now it's Linux copying Windows and Mac OS. And then they bitch and moan about Windows and Mac OS do one thing and then they go make their own fucking thing. And I kind of want to read his description here, so bear with me for a second. Like his beard and his hat, by the way. Microsoft has recalled Windows Recall until it's ready. Meanwhile, Open Recall might be what you have been looking for. It works on Linux, Mac, and Windows. What? Let's be honest here. I can give you another example here, where the hypocrisy, the stupidity of the Linux user's mindset. What are they criticizing Linux for here? It's privacy issues. I don't like recall. Like I said, I don't agree with it. They thought they had a neat feature that, because what operating, like let me put it in this way before I go further. What Windows and Mac OS is competing with each other with is not speed, it's not stability, it's not security, it's features. Just like mobile phone OSs and companies are competing with each other with features. And there was some idiot on Microsoft's team that thought recall would be a good feature, and they didn't thought about the potential security nightmare that will bring. And there probably also someone that saw like, oh, we can cipher a lot of data out of this. More than likely that also happened. But most of all, I think it started out as a feature because they needed a killer feature, because they knew Apple would come out with Apple AI and they needed something flashy, bashy, dashy they could like compete with Apple with. And that's honestly, that's how I think it started. But they didn't think it through. I don't like it, and I don't think anyone wants a fucking thing. Open source, closed source, whatever, that takes screenshots of your fucking shit, you know. Even if it's encrypted with password and stuff like that, because if you have sensitive data, or let's say sensitive things, you don't want that stored anywhere. Because in the second something is stored, it can be retrieved. It's just a matter of how much effort you want to get into and put into getting it. Not only to talk about, I just noticed something, it's done in Python. I love Python. Python is amazing. But Python is not the most secure and fastest language out there. I do Python all the time. And now I really want to see this. I need to look into the source code of this one here at some point. Because I bet this is something that's been thrown together in a fucking second. So one thing I already see here is that I'm going a little bit on technical tangent here. There is something called, I think it's called propane or system IO. Basically, OS is being outphased in Python because OS has the opportunities, or it's easy to buffer overload OS. Basically what it means is that it's so much easier to basically get access to your system by doing OS protocols if you don't know exactly how you're doing it. Using os.something or OS, the OS library, is really good if you're doing select limited few things. Like here they're joining a path, like a operating system path. But if you're executing commands via OS dot or the OS library, that's when you start to get into the iffy area. That's where they use, I think it's propane, or I can't fucking remember, system something. I can't remember what they're calling it right now. Because they found out that OS is a massive security risk. But a lot of older Python developers don't want to replace OS because that's what they know, that's what they need and stuff like that. I will see if I can find it here. Here it is. It's sub-processes. That's the one I was thinking about, not propane. So os.system and spawn new processes, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's sub-processes, if I'm not mistaken. I could be underline propane interface. Yeah, so you use sub-process 1, where before you used os.1. But anyway, a little bit of a technical sidetrack here. So what this tells my brain is that this is like probably runs well, but it's probably a poorly implemented system. So it may be secure and password protected and encrypted and stuff like that. But if the way that they're doing it is really, really bad and not that good, stuff like that, it's easily circumvented. And again, like I said before, I have a good example of why Linux people are batshit crazy when it comes to this. Like I said, what are we criticizing Windows for? Privacy, data collection, telemetry. What system do Linux people love that's not native Linux? If you think Windows is bad with their data collection, telemetry, and personal data handling and stuff like that, Google is the worst company on earth to trust with anything. Android is built by design to do all of these things we don't like. It's built into the fucking system by design, where it's not under Windows, luckily enough. They just added it in. Android is the biggest infringement on anyone's privacy and data that you can fucking get your hand on. Like, and not just Android, any Google products. And you may say, oh, that's why I'm using Brave or something like that. Yeah, but that's a Chromium-based system. You don't know what things Google is injecting into the Chromium base that we have not figured out yet or found yet, because nobody has really looked over the code for Chromium, or not that deep into the code of Chromium, or looked at all of the code of Chromium and understand what's going on. If you don't like Microsoft, what they are doing, don't use any Google product, anything that comes from Google. I would go to bet or theorize that the Google Drive or the Google Photo app is taking more telemetry and data from you than Windows do by default. This is why stuff like this here just makes me laugh like a motherfucker. Because it just shows how clueless people are and how they are willing to justify the same practices if it's benefiting their cause. Again, it's okay for us, but not okay for them. You can't, cut off the arm if someone is stealing, but we can cut off your arm if you're stealing from us. That's like has been the whole ethos of Linux people up till now, since the beginning, is that they love throwing shit and stone at other fucking companies, organizations, technologies, and then they're either copying what they're doing or doing the exact same thing, but they're open sourcing it, or they're saying like, but no. We are doing it right. We are doing it right. Not Windows, not Microsoft. We're doing the same thing. We are stealing from you, but we are stealing from you right. When we are stealing from you, we are putting the things we are stealing from you in a secure box. And you can have access to it if you want to. But maybe I also have access to it. Maybe I can give access to it to other people. Who knows? You don't know. Because you have not looked at the source code. I bet most people have not looked at the source code. But trust me, we are doing it right. Those other pesky fucking proprietary corporate idiots. Those are idiots. They don't know what they're doing, man. They're not doing it right. We are doing it for you. You want all their features? Yeah, we are doing them right. We are taking data from you the right way because it's open source or free software. Trust us, bro. I don't care how it's done or if it's done in the open. If you don't like telemetry, you don't like it even if it's open source or free software, because you cannot guarantee what people are doing with it. And that's the thing you should be angry about. You should not be angry about them taking data, personal, non-personal, whatever it is. What you should be angry about is that you don't know what they're doing with it. And even if they say we are doing these things, you don't know. Because the owner or the main maintainer of this fucking, or whoever is here, have they made a white paper that shows exactly how your data is being handled, other than saying that it's encrypted and password protected or something like that? Yeah, privacy, folks. Your data is stored locally on your device. So this is on Windows, and you have the option soon to be implemented. So it's not even implemented yet. to encrypt it with password to added security. As far as I understand, the Microsoft one is also encrypted. No cloud integration is required. Again, as far as I understand, you don't need cloud integration with Microsoft either. However, you can use Open Recall on any fucking system. It's not limited to ARM processors. Again, it's not that people are taking data. It's that you don't know what they are doing with it. What this comes down to is, and this is what people tend to forget, do I trust this person more than Microsoft? I think I trust Microsoft more, and I will tell you why. Because if Microsoft fucks up, not only are they going to be sued by the users, they're also being sued by governments. Because if they fuck over people, they not only fuck over me and you, they also fuck over massive corporations and big governments. This dude here is, or dudette or whoever made it, if they fuck up, they only fuck me up. They are only manhandling me. Also, AI, it's machine learning, it's modeling, it's not true AI. Get your fucking out. Even OCR is not AI, it's a machine learning algorithm which I have worked with the last fucking year. Anyway, I'm not going to get into this. It's about who you trust. And because big corporations and governments can sue Microsoft, they by design are going to be more diligent and more, well, covering their own asses better than these people here are doing. Because there's probably a clause in here that says that we are not guaranteeing anything, not reliable for anything, and however things are being done, it's not in our hands. So someone can take this here probably and then use that data or look at the source code and figure out how to basically cipher all your data out of your encrypted folder or something like that. Who do you trust the most? That's what it is. And it has been proven in society over and over again that it's better to trust people that have more skin in the game. People that can get hurt more by fucking up. That means one person that does something for fun, for free, that put in a clause in the license that says that I'm not reliable and blah, 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 and it's being used by a really select small group of people, yeah, they can do whatever the fuck they want because nobody's really doing anything other than bitching and moaning. They're connected to ChatGPT. Monthly subscription. You have to pay for it? You know you have to pay for ChatGPT. Oh, that's Rewind AI, sorry. Now, yeah, if this project fucks up, I'm not going to do much. It's okay. Yeah, who gives a fuck? If Microsoft fucks up or Apple fucks up, thousands of people can sue them. And like I said, companies and governments can sue them. So they fucking better, cover their ass. And when you look at I'm not saying that big companies and stuff like that is never fucking up and never getting sued, because they are. But on average, you're more likely to be fucked over by the small guy than the big guy. Yeah, a good example is builder, like carpenters and stuff like that. Because they're mostly one-person, two-person companies, private owned and stuff like that. Those kind of carpenters will fuck you way over, way faster than a big, reputable, multi-decade-year-old chain. Basically, Walmart may not fuck you as much over as your local corner store, both with prices and what they're doing with your data. Because Walmart is using your data, you don't know what the fuck the corner stores do. You don't know if they have like a snoofy thing on their credit card terminal, and they sell the purchase data to some fucking Indian scammer or something like that. Linux people are the weirdest, double standard, craziest people ever. See you all later. Bye bye.